Good morning, everyone, on this early Saturday morning. Hopefully, you're off to a good start as feels nice and kind of refreshed out there after some nighttime showers and thunderstorms roll through. Had some strikes of lightning and some big claps of thunder out there, but nothing severe. And most of us had probably close to a half an inch of rain, give or take a little bit. So, a good soaking rain out there, so things will really start to grow. But now we have blackberry winter to deal with, and we'll get into that here in just a couple of minutes. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Glass Farm Nursery, once again for helping us out and helping sponsor our morning weather discussion. But hey, temperatures this morning are on the cool side. A lot of us into the 50 to 53 degree range. Notice a bit cooler up in Nashville into the upper 40s. There you see the showers and thunder showers now off into the Carolinas, East Georgia. They have weakened a little bit over the last few hours, and they'll continue to race off to the east. So as we take a look at your forecast through the day, we'll see a good bit of sunshine, maybe a few afternoon puffy clouds, high temperatures of around 70. It'll be breezy, and temperatures definitely not as warm as the last several days. And tonight will really start to cool down now. Tonight, lows will fall into the 40s by the 2 and 3 o'clock hour, and by morning, we may have a few clouds, but looks like tomorrow morning will be our biggest risk for you folks into the mountains for seeing maybe a little frost. And if these clouds move on in, I think you may be spared of that, but look for lows between about, let's say, 38 into the mountains and about 42 to 44 for some of the valley areas. The clouds may help, so that's going to be kind of a wild card in this forecast for your Sunday. Mostly sunny. We'll see some of those clouds pass on through. High temperatures, though, staying into the 60s. And then Sunday night into Monday morning, that's going to be the critical, I guess, a morning for us in the valley, as by morning we'll be into the upper 30s to around 40 to 43. So if you're, let's say, around Chattanooga and maybe in some of the more populated areas, the concrete jungle type of areas, I think you're going to be safe from any scattered frost. But away from the city, it would not surprise me, especially around Murphy and Crossville and some of the colder spots, that we have some lower to middle 30s and some mid and upper 30s for some of the outlying areas. So scattered frost is definitely a possibility Monday morning, especially into the valley areas. Tuesday morning, maybe, but it looks like Monday morning will be our greatest risk. So on that note, I want to go ahead and let you know that if you haven't planted tender vegetation like tomatoes and peppers and some of your bedding type plants, may want to hold off until maybe Monday evening or more likely Tuesday midday, and then you'll be totally safe from any frost danger, because this will be probably it for the season. If you have, well, all is not lost. You can actually protect or kind of cover these, plants, with a blanket, nothing plastic, but something of cloth nature. And even if you forget to do that, if you get up before the sun rises on the areas that have been frosted, before the sun hits it, and if you get a watering can or some sort of hose and spray the ice or the frost off before the sun hits it, then you'll be semi-protected from any damage. But if the sun hits it once it frosts, that's what really initiates the burning process, and that's what does damage to that tender vegetation. So you have 2 or 3 options there, and obviously if you haven't planted, just hold off until maybe Tuesday midday. If you have, you can cover, and if you forget to cover, and if you're up 5, 6 o'clock before the sun rises and that sun hits that tender vegetation with any scattered frost on it, be sure and spray all of that frost off, and that will help out when it comes to damage to that tender vegetation. So we'll go ahead and get right back into the forecast real quick. And here's a look at our supercast. And once again, we'll have some clouds here and there. That's going to be the big question mark by Monday afternoon and Tuesday, though still looking dry. By the midweek, we'll see some showers move on through, and that's going to lead to a bit more unsettled weather as we head toward next weekend. And notice these temperatures are going to be cooler than normal for the next several days. So we'll be having highs 70 or below for a good many of those days, and looks like that pattern could continue all the way into next week. So say goodbye to the 80s at least for probably a 10-day period, and temperatures temperatures may actually be below 70 for a good portion of that. So cooler weather is now with us for a while, and we'll have to kind of keep our eyes open as we head into the next few nights. Tonight for the mountains, and then especially Sunday night and Monday morning for the valley. So take care, be safe, have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you later.